People love to joke that stepmothers are one bad day away from a fairy tale villain. I've never found it funny, mostly because I've watched how hard the real ones work, for years, often for children who were never required to make it easy on them. Today's story is from a woman who did that work for 2 decades before she got the word she'd been waiting for. This is Bernadette, in her own words. I married Ashley's father when she was 12, which is, I have since learned, close to the worst possible age to become anyone's stepmother. Too old to be charmed by a new adult in the house. Too young to have any say in the decision. She'd lost her mother to illness 3 years earlier, and here I was, in her kitchen, using her mother's good pan without knowing it was her mother's good pan. She was not cruel to me. That would have almost been easier. She was correct and distant, and called me by my first name in a tone that made the name sound like a job title. I made her lunches for 6 years. I went to every parent-teacher conference her father couldn't attend. I learned slowly which of her silences meant, "Leave me alone," and which meant, "Please don't leave." There was a Tuesday, when she was 15, that she stayed home sick, and I brought soup to her room without being asked and without saying anything about it. She didn't thank me. She also didn't send me away, which at the time felt like the same thing as being thanked. Researchers who study blended families have a finding I wish someone had told me on my wedding day. Real integration in a step family, the kind where everyone actually feels like one unit instead of 2 units sharing a roof, tends to take somewhere in the range of 5 to 7 years, sometimes longer, no matter how good everyone's intentions are. I didn't know that. I thought I was failing every single year, that it didn't feel like family yet. I wasn't failing, I was just early. The word came eventually, but not the way I'd pictured it. Ashley was 28, planning her wedding, and she called to ask if I would help her choose a dress. Not her father, me. I said yes, then sat in my car in the parking lot afterward and cried in a way I hadn't since her father proposed. At the wedding, in her toast, she thanked her father, and then she said, "And to the woman who showed up for 20 years without ever once being asked to, Bernadette, I don't have a word for what you are to me, so I'm just going to use the one that's true. Mum." She hadn't warned me she was going to say that. I found out I could, in fact, cry standing up in front of 200 people and still keep smiling. We don't call each other mother and daughter every day. Most days, it's still just our names, said the regular way 2 people who love each other say names. But I have that word now, given freely, 20 years, and 1 good pan later, and I don't need it said out loud again to know it's still true. Last Thanksgiving, Ashley asked to borrow the good pan for her own house, the same one that started this whole story 20 years ago, without either of us realizing it. I said yes before she'd finished asking. It felt finally like handing something forward instead of holding on to something that was never fully mine. If you're in year 6 of a step-family that doesn't feel like one yet, you're not behind schedule. You might just be early.